Hello Year 9, my name's Mr Pike and I'm the Head of Department of Health and Phys Ed here at Brisbane SDE. I'm here today to show you what an appropriate C standard looks like for your physical activity assessment of tennis, if you've chosen tennis. Now I'm very lucky the fact that very close to me in a couple of suburbs away from where I live, I have access to a tennis court that is a Brisbane City Council public tennis court. You don't have to have access to this. And I'm going to show you in a minute some other places that you can do tennis to be able to achieve at least a C standard. However, the first thing that you need to do is whenever you are doing your physical activity, you need to do your safety check. What's your safety check? Well, are you wearing the appropriate clothing? Are you wearing clothing that would be considered smart? Do you have a hat on your head? If you're outside, do you have sunglasses on? Do you have clothing that will protect you from the sun? Do you have sunscreen on? And above all, do you have some water available? You need to have all of that before you start. Second of all, is your environment safe? Now this environment I've had a quick look over. This is as I said, a publicly available tennis court, free to use for any members of the public. It's free at the moment, that's why I've come down here, and it's nice and clear. And last but not least, have I warmed up? Now, just to let you know, I've gone for a little bit of a jog, a little bit of a run around. I've done a few little stretches. I need you to do that before you engage in your physical activity. So again, this is a C standard for tennis. I'm going to be very honest with you. I'm not the best tennis player. I'm not the next Leighton Hewitt in any way, shape or form. However, I do know that the tennis racket that you will be holding right now, hopefully, has to be an extension of your arm. So please make sure that whenever you're using the tennis racket, it's an extension of you. Okay, let's have a look at the grip. How am I holding it? I'm not strangling it up here around the neck, and I'm not squeezing it as if I'm trying to kill some sort of animal, snake, whatever, anything. I'm not trying to strangle it, okay? It's just resting here in my hand. My wrist is firm. So that is remembering how to hold a tennis racket. Now today I'm going to show you the basics, the C standard for a forehand drive, for a backhand drive, for a serve. Now I don't have any opposition here to be able to play up against. So I don't have opposition. I'm going to show you, if you don't have anyone to be able to play with, even though you should be under safety being supervised by an adult, if you don't have anyone to be able to play with, but you do have an adult supervising you, I'll show you how you can still achieve a C standard using, for instance, a solid brick wall. I'll show you that in a minute. Okay, so I have some tennis balls and a tennis racket. Remembering all of this is relatively cheap from Kmart. You can get I looked online with my Year 9 class. You can get a tennis racket for about $8 to $10, and you can get a 3-pack of tennis balls for $2. So I do need you to have the appropriate equipment. Again, I don't need you to have access to a tennis court if you want. Okay, the forehand. The forehand is a very simple movement. The movement starts behind your body and travels in a parallel line across and through in front of your body. So again, as you're facing down, so I'm facing to the far side of the net. As I'm facing down the net, I'm going to bring the racket from behind me. I'm going to step and turn my hips. I'm going to keep my racket face either straight or slightly turned, but if I have it slightly up, the ball's going to go up in the air. And I'm going to extend my arm through and bring it round for a forehand. Hopefully looking something like this. I'm going to put the 3 balls down so it makes it very easier. 1 ball in my hand, hopefully. All right, it's very simple. It's not a hard movement. It's a movement, however, that does require you to bring your body around. So the forehand is a simple movement from in front of your body. So you take the racket back to it so it's beside your body and bring it through your body. And you should be trying to extend through at the hips, at the shoulder with your backhand. Now, with regards to the backhand, it is easier to do it with 2 hands. However, I'll be using 1 hand because I need to have 1 hand to hold the ball. The backhand shot goes from your non-dominant side. Now, I'm a right-hander. So that means that I'm going to be bringing my backhand from behind my left hip. If you're a lefty, it'll come from behind your right hip. And it comes from behind, and it's, again, it's sort of like a forehand, but again, it's coming across your body and through. Now you can extend through, that's fine. But again, the big trick, it's from the opposite side to your non-dominant hand. I'm a right-handed person, so that means it's going to come from my left hip. If you're a left-hander, it's going to come from your right hip. So from the opposite side, behind and through. And it's traditionally done quite with some force. However, please be aware that if you keep the racket face open, the ball will go up. If you keep the racket face too closed, the ball will go down. So try and keep the racket face square. Now it's a bit tough one person, but I'll give it a go. I'm going to go on this side so you can see, and I'm going to come out here. So with one hand, I'm going to go across and through. I'm going to do it again for you. Drop. And last but not least, so in all times I've taken it back from behind and brought it through. Again, holding the racket, I'm not holding the racket up at what's called the neck of the tennis racket, I'm holding it on the grip. Okay, Year 9. Now, remember what I said before, in no way, shape or form am I the next player for Wimbledon or anything shape or form like that. Please, this is a C standard. To get a C, you have to demonstrate that you know what you're doing. So with a forehand, remember, bringing it from behind your dominant hip and bringing it in front. From a backhand, your non-dominant hip, bringing it in front. And for a serve, I'm not looking for 100% accuracy, but what I am looking for is your ability to be able to have good hand-eye coordination by throwing the ball up, watching it, bringing the racket behind your body, behind your head particularly, extending through, hang on, I'll get it in shot, extending through and coming through, bringing the racket across. So again, like that. So let's see if I can give it a crack. Again, please, I'm in no way, shape or form a tennis player, so I'll give it a crack, but be able to show you with at least the correct technique. So from behind my body, I bring my racket up, I throw the ball up, I watch the ball, and I hit it as it comes down in front. I'll give it another crack. And one more for good luck. And accuracy on the third one. So again, bringing the racket behind my body, I'm throwing the ball up and I'm watching the ball. The whole time I'm watching the tennis ball, and I'm going to bring it up, remembering that the racket head is an extension of my body. As I bring it up to watch, I'm going to hit it and bring it through. Again, please, it's not about 100% accuracy. If you are, brilliant, thank you so very much. But it is about you understanding where the ball is in space, where the racket is in your body space, where the racket is in relation to your arm, and also making sure that there is good contact with the ball, hopefully towards the center of the racket. Year 9, as you can see, I don't have anyone to play up against. So I can't demonstrate right in this environment gameplay. I will demonstrate some gameplay against the wall for you. However, what are we looking for if you're on a court in gameplay for a C standard? We're looking for your ability to be able to track the ball. What does that mean? Well, that means watching the ball on the court after you've placed the shot, after you've made the shot, and then when your opposition makes their shot, you adjusting your body on the court, either for me on my forehand side, which is on this side, which you can't quite see, on this side, or on the other side of the court for me on my backhand side, and me being able to choose the correct stroke to make, either a forehand shot or a backhand shot. Whichever the shot is, I'm trying to look for accuracy in regards to the correct shot acquisition. Where the ball goes, well, hopefully it will go into the other side of the court, but for a C standard, we're looking to see that you can track the ball, you understand what sort of shot you're going to make, either a forehand drive or a backhand drive, or possibly even maybe a smash. We're looking also in gameplay that you understand where the ball is and you're moving on the court. If you can just do that, very easily for you to be able to get a C. Well, Year 9, here I am at the second location that I was talking about, and again I'm very lucky the fact that it's not far from my home. I have this wall set up. It's set up in commemoration of an Australian tennis player by the name of John Millman. So John Millman was a local to where I live here in southeast Brisbane, and he has played Wimbledon and he's Australian tennis champion. So it's set up in honour of him. However, it is a tennis rebound surface that you can do. So why am I showing you this? Well, it's very simple. I know there's lots of these set up around suburbs around Brisbane, around Ipswich, around the Gold Coast, Sunshine Coast, around Toowoomba, and around other places in towns around Queensland. Be honest, I'm perfectly unsure of any other states for that. However, why do I show you this? Because you may not necessarily have access to something like this, where there is a hard surface and also a hard wall, but you most likely have access to some form of hard wall. And in that hard wall, as long as there is nothing damageable, and as long as you have the permission of the owner of the property, so for instance your parents or your grandparents or whoever it is, whoever's got something like that you can play tennis with, as long as they've given you permission, you can do your tennis up against a hard wall or something like this. Now please remember two things. One, it is not quite the same as playing against somebody on a tennis court. You have to move sometimes a bit quicker, especially if you do a hard shot. You also have to understand that you're playing up against yourself. So you need to be setting yourself up for being able to put yourself into a a forehand position and a backhand position. So you need to be making those shots to be able to access that. So I've just got Brisbane City Council here beside me also working on their truck. So please, if you've got access to this, use something like this. Shot. So let's start with the forehand drive to start with. I've got two balls here in my hand, I've got two balls on the ground. Let's see if I can do it up against this wall. I'm going to come up and approach the wall. I'm going to drop the ball, kick. Oi! It's gone over. So there is an example of a C grade. I'll show you one more. Now a backhand shot might be a little bit more difficult to do up against a solid wall. You'll probably realistically have to start with a forehand before moving across to a backhand shot. Remembering with the backhand, it goes from your non-dominant. I'm a right-handed person, I hold the racket predominantly in my right hand, so therefore backhand's going to go from my left hip and across and through. Let's see if I can give it a shot up against this wall, starting with the forehand, then moving to my backhand. Well, there's one. Let's see if I can do it again for you. Nope. Okay, let's give it another shot. Let's see if we can do it again. A little bit more difficult to be able to do your serve onto a wall. So the serve may need to look a little bit more, not stunted, but as long as you can show that you're bringing the racket behind your head, you're throwing the ball up and you're watching the ball, you're targeting the ball with your eyes, following through with your racket head and bringing it through, that is a C standard. Let's see what gameplay looks like. Gameplay is going to be a selection of forehand and backhand up against the wall. Now it is a very quick movement because it's me against me, we're using the wall. So let's see if we can do it. We'll give it another try. Wasn't a very good backhand then. Okay, you saw the ball go flying over. I have my tennis racket really open. However, as you can see, I'm making shot selection. I'm moving my body to be able to make the correct shot selection. That is a C standard. Okay, Year 9. So as you can see, you don't need to be the next world champion to be able to even get a C. What I want to be able to see from you to be able to achieve a C standard is for your understanding of where's the ball going. Do I need to make a forehand shot or do I need to make a backhand shot? And do I need to move my body to be able to do that? That is the requirements. Are you able to film something like this? Absolutely. Look at me. I'm just a regular guy. I found a wall that's in a local park and I'm using that. I was on a tennis court earlier and I was using that. Anything that is available for you to be able to use, Year 9. Do we need video evidence? Yes, we do. That's the only way that we can assist you to be able to achieve what you need to or what you want to achieve. Without the video evidence, we can't. So please make sure you video yourself playing some tennis if tennis is your chosen sport. Please make sure for a C standard that you understand that a forehand goes through on your dominant side, a backhand goes through on your non-dominant side. For a serve, the ball is thrown up in front of your face, you track it, and the racket comes from behind your head and around and through as you rotate your body. And then for gameplay, just make sure that you're moving your body around on the court and you're making the correct shot. Is there a forehand shot? If it's on your forehand side, that means that it's coming down, for me, on my right hand side. If you're a lefty, it's coming down on your left hand side. Or if the ball is on your non-dominant side, so if the ball is on my left, if I can see that it's coming towards my left, I'm going to make a backhanded movement. If I was a left-handed person and I see it coming down on my right-hand side, I'm going to make a backhand serve. That's all it is. Okay, thanks Year 9, get into it.